What's happening, YouTube? LTH coming at you with a video. 7-13 to Bio City win here. So, week 8 is upon us, and yet the Texans and Colts meet for round 2, and the Texans lead the Colts by a game in the AFC South. I gotta say, this is a huge one for the Texans. You know, a game that the Texans cannot afford to lose, because not to mention the Colts is closing in on for the division lead, meaning they can tie the Texans should the Colts win tomorrow. So as far as the injury report, the Colts get some of their players back, including Jonathan Taylor and DeForest Buckner, which is huge for them, while they only have 2 players out, which is Jalen Carleys and Jannard Avery. And for the Texans side, 2 players out, Jimmy Ward, Aziz Al-Shaair, rest him, until week 10. And Toto is considered questionable, with that concussion. And other than that, all the rest of the players, including Kamari Lassiter, is back, which I didn't see him coming back until week 10. But man, I gotta say, it's pretty huge, just as long as they're not rushing players back. So let's get into it. Texans, even with missing key players, the Texans defense, been fun to watch. But as far as the offense, I got my concerns, about why this offense is so stagnant and complacent and not putting points on the board when needed to. Oh, I can understand why. Bobby Slowick's conservative play calling, is why they're not sustaining drives when it counts the most. And I gotta say, the pass protection sucked, which needs to be better. Pass protection gotta be better. And Joe Mixon was the whole Texans offense last week. And I get it, Stroud needs to play a lot better and a lot smarter too. And being more smart with the rock too. And I gotta say, Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs gotta take over too. And of course, Dalton Schultz, gotta be a lot better. Since Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz has been pretty disappointing so far. And I know Nico's not playing, but there's no excuse to why they're not developing a meaningful game plan, to have sustainable drives. Because one thing I always learned is coaching matters, not just for the Texans and Colts, but every team as well. So, no Nico Collins, but it's going to see how this receiving core, play out this go around with Nico not playing. And I got to say, as far as the offensive keys goes, pass protection got to be better, which I'll be watching that for sure, against the D-line with DeForest Buckner. Gotta neutralize that D-line and pass rush for sure, because that's gonna be the key to buying Stroud time to find an open man, or even scramble for some yards if needed. Because pass protection gotta be better. And like I said, Stephon and Tank gotta ball out, and ball security is key. Just be smart. Offensive complementary football. Just be smart with the rock. But don't be predictable. Don't constantly be predictable. Because then that's what leads to drive stalling out too. They've been doing a solid job of cleaning up the penalties better, but the minute they finally learn how to clean up the penalties, they find the pass protection all of a sudden starts sucking. But that's got to improve, because especially that interior O-line too, and Kenyon Green got to be a lot better. More like the whole offensive line, because Casario invested money into that O-line to protect Stroud, not like give up crucial sacks. I mean, come on. Anytime you invest money in that O-line, you got to show up. You got to show up and ball out. O-line got to be a lot more balanced, a lot more disciplined, especially, Larry Tunsil, and Titus Howard, needs to be more balanced. Shaq Mason got to be better too, man. Like I say, yeah, any good O-line tends to have their moments, but, man, the way they've been looking so far, inexcusable. So, offensive line's got to be a lot better. And I know, Stroud, must bounce back for sure, because, yeah, it was the way that Green Bay was pressuring Stroud, it was hell. They gave Stroud hell, hands down. And the Colts are going to be looking to do the same as well. If the O-line doesn't protect Stroud effectively. So, like I said, the key to protecting Stroud is neutralize that pass rush. And, of course, Stroud's got to read the blitzes in the defense, which is part of keeping the opposing defenses guessing. And, let Stroud cook, as they would say. And Joe Mixon, got to keep doing what Joe Mixon does. Be patient and all. But can't afford to rely on him all game when there's other key players that's got to step up as well. Even get John Mechie and Xavier Hutchinson involved. Spread. It's called spreading the field, because that could be the key to creating some separation, and not just in receivers but in tight ends as well. The key to spreading the field is, Bobby Slowick opening up the playbook. And that's what separation is, and score points in and inside, in and out of the red zone when it matters most, because touchdowns always matter. As far as the defensive keys goes, gotta pressure Anthony Richardson. Gotta pressure Richardson no matter what, because can't leave him any room to run or any time to find an open man, because he'll launch the heck out that ball too. Just like in the first meeting when he completed 3 long passes for TDs. Yeah, gotta limit the deep balls. Gotta limit the big plays in the air and on the ground. And also, once again, ground Jonathan Taylor like they did in week 1. Held him to like 50 yards. After all them games of owning the Texans, D-line got to eat. Got to own Jonathan Taylor once again, which won't be an easy task. And, of course, record sacks on Anthony Richardson. Because if you make him so uncomfortable, he won't have an idea of who to throw the ball to. Unless, of course, he'll end up throwing it away. Which, hey, brought enough good pressure. It's all about aggression and aggressively discipline. Being disciplined. Can't be on the field for too long and being willing to get off the field when it matters. If it means forcing them to key 3rd and longs. Gotta make them earn it. Don't give it to them. Make them earn it every yard. And of course, the secondary got to keep doing their thing. Michael Pittman. If Michael Pittman and Adonai Mitchell, got a lot, defensive complementary football, and Kalen Bullock's got to keep doing his thing too. I mean, he's been pretty fun to watch, and if he keeps doing what he's doing, I mean, yeah, there's a chance that the Texans may need another safety, because Jimmy, like I've been mentioned before, Jimmy Ward can't stay healthy. So neither another corner or safety will be needed. Because even if Jimmy Ward comes back, It's gonna be pretty safety room. It's gonna be will be stacked if they will acquire safety. But yeah, record sacks on Richardson, and force turnovers as well. Winning the turnover battle, force turnovers matter, and play even in the red zone, make them earn it. I mean, don't make it hard for them to score touchdowns. Yeah, holding them to 3 points is cool, but holding them to 0 points is even better. So, defensive complementary football is key. And, of course, you got to avoid, boneheaded penalties, which would give opposing offenses extra opportunities, along with, offensive penalties, which would, come back to hunt the Texans in their drives. Gotta avoid those kind of dumb penalties. Yeah, they're a part of the game, but gotta avoid them at all times. Because they have the second most penalties in the game. In the seed, second most penalties in the league. Only Miami has more, if I'm not mistaken. So, gotta minimize those penalties. And, of course, special teams matter too. So, special teams got to be on point. But what I'm going to be mainly watching is that offensive line and Stroud and the receiving core. And the tight ends as well. That's the offensive side. And the defensive side, seeing how Devin White's going to fare in his debut, since he's going to be playing tomorrow. And I know Henry Toll is questionable, but it would be nice to see him back on the field tomorrow because dude's been balling. I mean, it'd be nice to activate Christian Harris, but probably not this week, but if not week 9 and week 10 for sure, because after tomorrow, the Texans have a short week on their hands when they go to the Meadowlands to play the Jets. So, yeah, let's handle business tomorrow and let's move to 6-2 and stay at top of the AFC South. And yeah, of course, I might make a video, either Monday or Tuesday about the Thursday night matchup between Texans and Jets. So there's that. So, I got to give a shout out to the Blue Horseshoe, the only Colts fan I know. But hey, there you have it. LTH checking on up out of here, 713 to Bayou City. Let's go Texans, and let's get to 6-2 tomorrow and stay on top of the AFC South. I'm out. Peace.